meaning she needs another $52,000 before her October deadline.
I feel like since I've raised the money myself, it's very rewarding, and I really like the fact, and I feel like I'm going to be very proud when I get on that plane.
Households across the small border towns of Echuca and Moama have thrown their support behind the initiative, offering their spare containers to the cause. The generous donors ranging from family, friends to strangers from social media.
There are a few farmers that had said, look, there's some laying around our farm, and so we had spent half a day bagging up and collecting bottles and cans that were around the farm there. So we've just been absolutely amazed with the support of our community.
Locals are proud to see a young woman taking initiative.
I think it's just great to see a young person with such dreams and passion, and a lot of people just really want to acknowledge and support that.
Most supportive of all, a mum seeing her daughter chasing her passions.
It's just makes you feel really proud of your kids, and just shows that all the effort that we put in sometimes, they start to not take things for granted.
Monty Jacker, ABC News, Echuca.
Good luck to Emily on her mission. A quick look now at the national weather forecast. In Brisbane, showers with a possible storm. Sunny in Sydney and in Canberra. Cloud clearing in Melbourne. In Hobart, a possible shower. Sunny in Adelaide. In Perth, partly cloudy. And showers in Darwin with a possible storm. And a reminder, you can keep up to date at news.abc.net.au and, of course, on ABC iView. Here are the top stories on ABC News. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected calls for the establishment of a Palestinian state as part of any post-war scenario. He made the comments in a nationally broadcast news conference, saying Israel needs to maintain full control of Palestinian territory. The US has continued to push for a two-state solution, saying there's no way to solve Israel's long-term security challenges in the region without the establishment of a Palestinian state. Queensland's Premier Stephen Miles has announced a state parliamentary inquiry into grocery prices at the major supermarkets. Mr Miles met yesterday with executives from Coles, Woolworths and Aldi to discuss soaring costs and alleged price gouging. He described the meeting as productive and says the supermarkets have agreed to appear at the inquiry. Thousands of West Australians remain without power across the Perth Hills and Wheatbelt region as widespread outages continue into their second day. Authorities are still trying to restore electricity to residents across the region after a severe storm earlier this week caused significant damage to local infrastructure. The outages are impacting water supply, telephone services, internet connections, fuel stations and retail outlets. And Australia has cruised to a 10-wicket win in the first test against the West Indies at Adelaide Oval. Australia's bowlers made light work of the visitors this morning, dismissing them for 120. Marnus Labuschagne brought up the winning run shortly after Usman Khawaja retired hurt on 9. Let's get more now on the ongoing power outages in Western Australia. With soaring temperatures across parts of the Wheatbelt, residents in the mining town of Kalgoorlie have been advised to stay home and keep cool. Local Iris Haynes says while power is returning slowly, it remains inconsistent.
In our area, we lost power roughly Wednesday late afternoon into the evening. And of course, you never know when it will happen.
And I understand that you moved to Kalgoorlie from Germany more than a decade ago. Have you experienced an outage like this before?
I've been in Kalgoorlie now for a little while, and I was also had the pleasure of being part of the November 2017 outage, which lasted a week as well.
Right, and so having gone through that, did you feel prepared for this one?
Yes, I am, because I'm German, and my husband, we also talked about it. So we actually organized like a generator last time, but it was really noisy and smelly. So this time we have a generator for outside, and then also one which is a battery operated one for inside. So we just keep to charging each other. So you can see the outside one here. That's a petrol operated one. And then I've got a lithium battery one inside to actually cool my fridge, because that is the most important part.
Yes, absolutely. Cool food is very important. But I understand you've been offering these around. Tell me about how you've been working within the community to make sure that everyone has what they need.
I mean, of course, we had an outreach of the internet and data, so we could only really communicate infrequently. But because I work as a real estate consultant, I have my clients, and I went to visit someone to do a signature, and he was just released out of hospital after 3 weeks. He was in a very hot house, and my house is very comfortable, so I gave him my lithium battery operated one, so at least he could cool for the day. And also with our Facebook group Moving to Kalgoorlie Border, we sort of asked if somebody needed to charge a phone. And so this is how it goes in the neighbourhood. People look after each other.
I mean, are you worried that there are other people in the neighbourhood who maybe aren't getting the support that they need, who might be struggling through this extreme heat?
Yes, for sure. Because, you know, there's a lot of people earning a lot of money in mining and other industries, but there's also a lot of people who actually are on lower incomes. And some of the houses are very old character fibre homes, and they're not well insulated. So you really rely on the air conditioning to actually keep it cool. And yeah, I am worried about those people who live in those homes.
And what are you hearing from authorities about when power will be restored? I understand it's kind of coming and going where you are at the moment.
Yes, as you mentioned when you sort of connected, we are sort of having power at the moment, but this morning it went on and off, and I keep charging because I don't know when it will be off again. And yeah, last night we got an emergency broadcast from DFAS to say that water, power, internet is affected, and just to really write and see, and if there's any 000 emergency, to go straight to the police if you can't reach anyone.
How frustrating is it for you and your community? Do you think that there needs to be sort of a better backup system in place for when things like this happen?
Yeah, from what I understand, there is a backup system in place. I mean, I'm not an expert on all this, but I heard there is a backup in place, but it also had issues, meaning like the backup failed. And then, of course, that's why everyone was